Hi, thank you, Charles. This is Nathan. Well, this is a good opportunity for me to express what does it look like under the rule of the national security law in Hong Kong, because I think people are curious about that. In Hong Kong, a lot of political activists and protesters, they are in grave danger because the national security law allows Hong Kong government to prosecute them just because of their speeches. So we're in a new era that the government could easily prosecute an individual just because of their Facebook posts, just because they have set certain slogan. So the law in particular, its sheer target is to quash the freedom of expression of Hong Kong people and to end peaceful demonstrations. So this is the first indication of the law, and the second one is to destroy the social fabrics. On the one hand, it basically quash the freedoms that we have, but on the other hand, its target is also the civic society. By having the law in place, a lot of institutions could quote the law and to suppress the freedom of expression of the individuals in that institutions. For example, in the education sector, the Education Bureau and the schools could ask students not to discuss certain topic and to restructure the curriculum, not to encourage critical thinking, but to promote Communist Party's agenda. And for the media side, they could restrict and regulate the media outlets and to ask them not to seek for truth, but to promote the propaganda from the state media and from the government. And for the academics, they could really restrain academics from doing, like, for example, polls about certain topics that may irritate Beijing, or in their research, avoiding certain topics that its result would embarrass the authority. So these are under the national security law in the name of obeying the law in order to quash these freedoms and the social fabrics in these civic societies. So I think for the next phase, of course, we have to be very aware of the political dissidents and the prosecutions. But on the other hand, we should be actively monitoring these arenas of civic societies and to engage them actively, because these damages are not as obvious and visible as those very autocratic prosecutions on political activists and international organizations protecting academic freedom, press freedom, and also freedom under a just education should be very aware of Hong Kong's situation and engage actively.